zero Australian Maoists in history.
You want to talk about opportunism, bro? I mean, you are the biggest opportunist of them all.
Oh yeah,
All you
did is come on my stream, and you're an adult. You just said, "Fuck this, fuck common prosperity." How is you're just whining? I'm sick of the whining, dude. I'm sick of Maoists who come on my stream and whine. Can you actually give Can you make an intelligent argument instead of whining and shouting slogans? Just stop whining with your revolutionary sentiment and your revolutionary fervor. Okay, give me an intelligent. Okay, here's what I'm demanding of you. What's going on?
What's going on? So I want to talk about China. I mean, I didn't watch the stream, but you posted there's a Soros plot in China with these protests. Can you tell me more about that?
Well, I had a whole stream about it, so you're gonna have to be more specific.
All right. Well, what part of it do you think is American or CIA funded? I'm sure.
The part of it that includes people shouting slogans for the overthrow of the Communist Party and denouncing Xi.
Yeah, so in what sense is that liberalism, American liberalism?
Well, it in no way reflects the
Well, because there have been, I've seen videos of them saying, this is in the name of Mao, this is for Marx and Engels, so there's all sorts of different strains.
Okay, well, people who are calling for the overthrow of the Communist Party, whether they're doing it from an ultra-left, trendy, urban perspective, or they're doing it from a liberal perspective, it's still aligned with international liberalism.
But what do you mean trendy ultra-left? I mean, there's nothing really necessarily.
You told me something without. Are these young people, young Starbucks-dwelling hipsters saying this is in the name of Marx and Engels, or are these rugged Chinese, deeply, patriotic people who are just tapping into the roots of their country? I mean, you told me something out of context, so I need more specification.
Well, I mean, are you saying that there are?
I saw a bunch of hipsters,
employees here that are ruining these protests.
I saw a bunch of westernized liberal leftists marching down with guitars singing the International. So are those the kinds of people you're talking about, the westernized ultra-leftists? Or are you talking about the actual Chinese Maoists, who are the indigenous Maoists of China, most of whom, by the way, are fully behind Xi now?
Well, that's just not true. Why would that be true? I mean, a lot of the Maoists...
Have you traced the evolution of the Chinese left in the 2000s? Because it became...
Not in the 2000s, ever since the 70s. There were those that were loyal to Mao and the Gang of Four that were killed.
They don't exist anymore in China.
Reformist.
They don't exist in China.
Well, they don't because they were killed.
Okay. Yeah. Even if you were right that they were all killed, what's your point? They don't exist. They're not a significant factor. The Chinese New Left. There's a Chinese.
How can you say that Xi and people that should support Xi are more Maoist than those that were killed when they had a reformist line after the Cultural Revolution?
Because those people had nothing to do with Mao, but were aligned with the Gang of Four, which were ultra-leftist deviants.
It was Mao's wife.
Mao's wife did not reflect the views of Mao. Mao's wife
that's
was
bullshit,
far more extreme than Mao. Okay. Well, the truth.
In what sense are these COVID lockdown policies anything to do with Mao? Or anything to do with leftism?
You just spit it out 500 degrees of diarrhea retardation. So one by one, okay? First of all, there is a Chinese New Left. It's a historical reality in the 2000s, a revival of quote-unquote left thinking. That's what they called it in China. And these people did become aligned with Xi Jinping. That's an objective fact. If you don't like the fact that in Chinese historiography, they're referred to as the New Left or the Chinese Left, go take it up with the fucking Chinese. But this is what they were referred to.
What does it have to do with the COVID policy? Absolutely nothing.
Why did you jump?
Don't give me that bullshit.
But okay, we're talking about history, and then you jump 30 years in advance to the current zero COVID policy. How does that happen?
Yeah. So how does it happen?
Okay, the zero COVID.
You tell me.
Are you done talking? Because I'm going to give you a very long history of how you get from the Chinese New Left, Xi Jinping, into zero COVID. I'm going to give you the whole fucking thing. Sit down, boy, for a 3-hour lecture. Are you ready? Because you're a fucking Australian. You're an Australian sitting in fucking Australia, and you just want me to shove my cock in your fucking mouth instantaneously and sum up like a 4-hour fucking lecture instantaneously just because you're trying to make the rhetorical point that you somehow don't see how any type of Maoism could have anything to do with the zero COVID policies. I mean, maybe you're not educated about China and China's history. Maybe you're not educated on the nuances of Maoism and Mao Zedong thought. Maybe it would require more to explain these things. You've just never actually committed yourself to understanding it beyond adopting this vague set of phrases you call Maoism that give expression to your ultra-left, pseudo-revolutionary, infantile sentiment, which is probably rooted in the fact that you hate your mom and dad.
Hey, nothing to do. Let's not get psychoanalytic. Maoism was about revolution with the peasants and the proletariat in the mid-20th
You sound like a muffled, retard, Australian, arrogant, fat fuck who's sitting here on my fucking stream trying to explain to me the vague disquisitions and the vague impressions you have about what Maoism is based on Australia's fucking PBS state TV. You don't sound like a scholar who studied this. You don't sound like someone.
You're fucking no.
You don't sound like someone who takes the fucking time to actually try and study and research what Maoism is. You're just like, Maoism is like it's like this, it's like that, it's like this, it's like that. You need to be more precise when you're talking to me about this because you are demanding a precise explanation. You're demanding a very precise thing.
Prosperity is a load of shit. Okay. And it has nothing to do with the Chinese people.
Go cry about it, bitch. You're a white Australian fucking fat fuck. Go cry about it. Go cry about it. Go cry. Nobody cares about Western Maoism. There is no such thing as Western Maoism. Western Maoism is fake. You're not a revolutionary. You're not a revolutionary. Western Maoism is fake.
You bitch.
I don't have to be. I'm not LARPing as one, retard. I'm not LARPing at one. You are posturing as a revolutionary. You're just a wet diaper Maoist. That's all you fucking are. Maoism is fake. Western Maoism is fucking fake. Western Maoism is fucking fake. Western Maoism is fucking fake. Western Maoism is fake. There are zero Australian Maoists. Zero Australian Maoists in the world. I can not count any. I can't count the amount of Australian Maoists on my fucking hand because there are zero. I cannot count the amount of Australian Maoists on my hand because there are zero Australian Maoists. There are zero Australian Maoists in the world.
Look him up. Albert Langer, look him up.
He was a retard who has no significance or relevance in the world, and I spit on his grave.
Neither do you then.
Well, I have more views than him, so I am more relevant.
All right.
There are zero Australian Maoists in history.
You want to talk about opportunism, bro. I mean, you are the biggest opportunist of them all.
Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah? All you do is come on my stream, and you're an adult. You just said, fuck this. Fuck common prosperity. How is you're just whining. I'm sick of the whining, dude. I'm sick of Maoists who come on my stream and whine. Can you actually give can you make an intelligent argument instead of whining and shouting slogans? Just stop whining with your revolutionary sentiment and your revolutionary fervor. Okay, give me an intelligent, here's what I'm demanding of you. A reasonable, intelligent, and articulate dialogue. Give me something that I can work with instead of shouting phrases in my face. I'm not the DSA and you're not the Austin Red Guards. Stop being an autistic white Western Maoist and just try to be a normal human being and a rational human being. What specifically is your argument here?
My argument is that Xi Jinping and the Communist Party of China is a
No, that's your
party.
statement. I want an argument.
Yes.
I don't want your statement.
Okay, my argument.
I don't want your phrases, and I don't want your statement. I want an argument, not a statement. Give me an argument.
My argument.
So to explain it to you, an argument has to be based on some kind of logical or rational premise you can explain to me as to why I should also believe in it. So go ahead.
Okay. My argument is that the current protests in China show that Xi Jinping is slipping and that it has nothing to do with American or CIA indoctrination and that they're having a lot of trouble, the Chinese government.
All right, sure. Now let's look at the evidence. Let's evaluate the evidence. Do you have the minimum of any evidence whatsoever to suggest that the protests reflect feelings against Xi Jinping?
Sure.
And by the way, I want to premise that the protests that are occurring in significant numbers against the COVID policies at the local level. There are protests in Shanghai with 12 hipster barista, I can't say slurs, I would like to. There's those people, right? Those don't reflect anything significant among the Chinese population. They're being scolded by the real Chinese protesters. Anyone who's shouting slogans against the Communist Party. Yeah, because okay. You know what? Do me a favor. Go to Guangzhou. Go to any major Chinese city, maybe besides Shanghai, and start shouting slogans against the Communist Party and Xi in front of locals. Not police, in front of locals. See what happens. See what happens. See what happens. See what happens.
Why not? I mean, there are heaps of people that support the state.
Go
There's
do
always going to be a minority of people.
Okay, actually, even besides that, so I want you to show me, give me evidence the protests are by and large directed against Xi Jinping. Give me evidence the protests are still ongoing in any significant capacity. Give me evidence that it actually reflects Xi losing power. Where is the evidence? Now let's consult the evidence now. Go ahead.
All right. Well, there's an article on The Guardian, anti-lockdown protest.
The Guardian! The Guardian! I want raw numbers from The Guardian. I want numbers. I don't want The Guardian's bullshit narrative I fucking wipe my fucking ass with. Give me raw fucking numbers. Give me raw fucking numbers from The Guardian. I don't want to see some shit from The Guardian where it's just gonna...
Oh, this is what the facts say. What are your fucking sources?
What
are you giving me?
The burden of proof is not upon me because I'm not the one who has to make a fucking argument here. You have to prove to me something is going on. I have no proof the thing you're saying going on is going on. What is the Guardian telling you in terms of numbers?
Hang on. Well, I got to look this up, man. So you got to
go ahead, look it up. So you came to debate me on this with no evidence at hand.
No.
So your position is... Wait, Mr. Maoist. Did not Mao Zedong himself, is not he the one who said, seek truth from facts? Your truth has no grounding in facts. You didn't even consult the facts before you decided to jump to a conclusion which you passed off as truth. You are not a Maoist, sir. Quotations of Chairman Mao Zedong, seek truth from facts. You did not seek truth from facts. You sought it from your own wet diaper bleeding ass, and I wish you go to the doctor and have him fix it. Stop blaming Xi Jinping because you have a stick in your ass. Just take it out.
Wait. So let's move on from this. So Xi Jinping, what about him makes him a communist if he's not even listening to his own people?
Do you have evidence he's not listening to his own people?
Okay. Hang on. Get this up in a second. At least 1,000 people gathered along Chinese capital's Third Ring Road near the Lingma River, refusing to disperse.
Okay.
Indicate the level of people's desperation. A crowd in Shanghai called for the removal of the Communist Party.
Is that 1,000 people? Did you say 1,000 people?
Yes. At least 1,000 people.
How big is Shanghai?
Dude, I don't fucking know.
So Xi Jinping should change. And I don't know how he could do this by himself because that's just not This is not how China's system works. This is not how China's system works, by the way. But hold on. Xi Jinping, hold on. So Xi Jinping, hold on. Xi Jinping, I don't know, you sound like an arrogant Australian retard who's never studied China, who doesn't know that China has like an actual system with various degrees of government, local governments, provincial governments, local governments, the central government. So you basically, like a fat fuck Australian tourist at Disneyland, you ran straight to Xi Jinping, who's the paramount leader of China, of all of China, 1.5 billion people, and you're saying that he needs to do something specifically because of 1,000 fucking people in Shanghai. Can you explain how that makes sense?
No, I did not say that. I'm not expecting.
So what are you saying, dude? What are you saying? It's stupid. What are you saying?
You don't think? Look, Shanghai is one of the biggest cities in China. It's a global financial hub. This is where
but it's 1,000 people. But it's 1,000 people. Even if you were right, even if you were right that the 1,000 people are. Hold on. Even if you were right that the hold on. Even if you were correct. Even if you were correct that even if you were correct that 1,000 people on the street means the government needs to change course in terms of policy. Hold on. Even if you were correct, even if you were correct that 1,000 people on the street means the government needs to change course and policy, why would that not go not only to the fucking Shanghai city government, but to the local fucking district of wherever that 1,000 people are in? Why would it not go to them? Why is this going to Xi Jinping, who's the fucking paramount leader of China? You sound retarded. Imagine if 100 people in bumfuck Idaho got into the sidelines and started protesting, and you claim Biden needs to respond to it for some fucking reason. It's just stupid. Do you not hear how stupid you sound right now? You're so arrogant, it's made you stupid. This is the result of Western arrogance. It turns your brain into stupid mush. Make your argument, dude. Go ahead.
What do you mean, what argument? You haven't made a single fucking counterclaim.
Xi Jinping needs to do something. 1,000 people are in Shanghai. Xi Jinping, what is he gonna do, dude?
Oh, I'm saying that he should be overthrown, and that the Chinese people should fucking overthrow.
So hold on. So China has its own sovereign system. Everything. 1.4 billion people. This whole thing. All of that. Oh, okay. Xi must be okay. 1,000 people in Shanghai. No, this is better. You sound more reasonable now. So first you said Xi Jinping should respond to 1,000 people protesting and cave into their demands. Now you're saying he can't even do that. He just needs to be overthrown. Okay, then the 1,000 people. Then convince the 1,000 people to go and do it and see if they can in a country of over 1 billion people. Good luck.
They can't.
They can? Okay,
go.
Dude, you live in Australia? I have some advice for you. You're Australian, right? You could be the next Mao, dude. Go to China and just go to these people in Shanghai and just be like, yeah, let's overthrow the Chinese government and see how far it'll get you. Good luck, dude.
Isn't that what you're trying to do in America, you little bitch?
It's literally not. It's literally not, cocksucker. It's not, you fucking cocksucker. You stupid bitch. I'm not a fucking Maoist LARPer. I'm not a fucking Western Maoist LARPer like you, dude. I'm not a Western Maoist LARPer like you, dude. You can't throw. Listen, dude. All you can do is hold me accountable for the things I've actually said, which is what I'm doing to you. You can't just project.
Patriotic socialism in America. You want
You know what? Find the quote. Find the quote where I've identified as a patriotic socialist. Please find it.
Oh, whatever. I don't really care.
Hey, I want to call you a slur. Hey, listen to me. Hey, cigarette. Listen to me, cigarette. You cannot hold me accountable for what Twitter told you about me. You can only hold me accountable for the things I've actually said in the past. I don't give a flying fuck what your impression of me is or what I'm known as on Twitter. Those cocksuckers can get on their fucking knees, form a Congo line from coast to coast, and each of them individually suck my fucking cock. They're liars. Nothing they say about me has any basis in fact. You may as well fucking cite what you've heard about Santa Claus. Do not fucking cite your general disquisitions and vague generalities about what you think Haas is in a live fucking debate with the man himself. You're not gonna sit here and talk about patriotic socialism to a fucking man who's never identified that way in the fucking first place. You saw some shit on Twitter that has nothing to do with me, and you saw. Dude, this is what you do. This is what you do. This is what you fucking do. This is what you fucking do. You fucking take some shit that has nothing to do with the subject matter, some Australian vague thing about Maoism in the countryside. You throw it on China as if it's China's fault that you have these retarded prejudices in your head that have nothing to do with fact. As if it's my fucking fault that you have these retarded prejudices in your fucking head about patriotic socialism, and I have to be responsible for the fucking fact that you got fucked in your ass. You got fucked. I have to be. Why should I be responsible for the fact that you got fucked in your ass to the point of believing something that's not grounded in fact? Why should I care? Why am I responsible for the vague impressions of reality you have, Australian? You're not at Disney World. This isn't some vague impression of fucking reality right now. You're not an Australian tourist in fucking Disneyland. You are in a debate with me right now where you need to rationally ground and commit yourself to justifying your beliefs. You need to commit yourself to justifying the things you say. I don't care what your prejudice is or what your vague impressions of the world is. Oi, mate. Well, it's just like that thing in it. It's just like that thing in it. I don't know. You don't refer to vague impressions. Ground what you're saying in actual reality. Ground it in actual reality.
Yeah, sure. Tell me then. Come on, make it tanky. I mean, you claim to be a fucking
like that tanky thing, innit? It's like that tanky thing, innit? It's like that tanky thing people talk about, innit? You know that thing? You know, come on, man. Like that tanky thing everyone's talking about, man. I can't even think for myself, man. I'm not even a rational adult human subject, man. I'm basically like a fucking NPC, Angloid NPC. Can't even fucking refer to anything.
You're just using
dude. Make an argument. Make a rational argument. Make a rational argument.
Make a rational argument. Okay. Well, what? How are you?
I want a sentence. I want a rational, structured argument with a premise and a conclusion that I can somehow respond to or address in any kind of way. Go ahead.
Okay, fine. How about this for an argument? Your Maga Communism isn't going to amount to shit, and you can't fucking.
Okay, can you bridge that? Can you bridge that with a because? Hold on. So this is the Angloid babble I'm talking about. I just told you to make an argument, and you just gave me a statement. Can you please make a why and give me a reason?
Right, sure. Well, your video is just you spouting phrases about fucking populism and the third
I'm computing the structure of a logical argument, somewhat of one. So your Angloid babble, your retarded NPC brain has led you to the following structure, right? This is what you said. Everything you're doing is going to fail because the video you posted just contains a bunch of random phrases. So the latter part, which is actually like the meat and potatoes of the logical.
Versus the 1%.
Okay. So the first thing you said is logically. Hold on. The first thing you said is merely analytically dependent on the second, whereas the second is synthetically dependent on evidence. Can you give me evidence? Can you give me evidence that was actually the content of my video?
Well, okay. What was the content of your video?
The burden of you is on you to prove what you just said. You just made a claim. Can you justify it with evidence? You just made a claim. You are the one. Hold on. Australian. You are the one. Hold on. You are. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut your cunt mouth. You just made a claim. You just made a claim. Hold on. You just made a claim. Can you justify it?
Which claim?
The claim that my video was full of a bunch of random phrases that had no meaning.
Yeah, I mean, look, a lot of those people that you talked to just were confused by your position, and you just said, oh, it's all Bill Gates and their fault, and it's the 99% against the white. So you use an Occupy phraseology that has no Marxist content.
It seems like they didn't mind the communism word. It seemed like they didn't mind when I said communism.
They didn't mind because you gave them a completely, toothless idea of what that actually is.
Okay, why do you think it's a toothless idea?
Why do I think it's a toothless idea? Well, it's because it's not actually raising anybody or getting people involved in anything. It's just letting them passively support Trump. And
is there a way I can... can I make an assumption? It kind of sounds like you're saying I should have handed out flyers for my local 3-man party and hoped someone would show up to a fucking meeting to be recruited into my little cult. Is that what you wanted?
Sectarianism, no.
Okay, so
No.
the mission of my
Look, I
video. Hold on.
appreciate- I
The mission
appreciate the fact that
actually.
you can
See. Here's the thing, hairy asshole. The mission of my video was singular. I am one person. All I wanted to do was to prove to communists that these people don't mind the word. They're not allergic to the word communism as long as you can make it meaningful, sensible, and relatable to what they already do know. Their level of consciousness already. You have to work with them where they're at. All I wanted to do was prove, because people said if I go to a MAGA rally and I mention the word communism, then I'm going to get socked in the face. Now, I've always stated what I think is the simple significance of communism in America, which is about giving political independence to the working class, creating a proletarian dictatorship, and fighting the real ruling class, the real one, not the hypothetical, theoretical ruling class and the ideal ruling
Democrats.
class in your head. The actual ruling class. So when I refer to Bill Gates and the Great Reset agenda and all this other kind of stuff, you know what I'm actually referring to? The real representatives of the ruling class. Shocker, right? Shocker that these are the real faces, and they do have faces. They're not just pieces of text on a piece of paper. That's the real ruling class. You got it? So if you're trying to say that I was being too vague and disingenuous, you're wrong about that. You should have consulted what I said before about MAGA communism. I was consistent with what I was saying it was in that video, and those people were either positively disposed or curious and interested about what I was saying. Almost no one was hostile, and no one was hostile. Those people who had a negative reaction to the word communism were a staunch minority of people I spoke to. That has significance. I'm one fucking person. That video should illuminate to people who are conscious communists in this fucking country who they need to be organizing with, who they need to be speaking to, and who do they need to be catering their message to. That is why I made that fucking video. The burden is not upon me to go to a fucking MAGA rally and recruit random people and harangue random people to join my tiny micro sect of a party. I'm not a micro penis communist. I'm a big penis, capital C communist. I'm interested in a American communist movement that will actually utilize the furthest extent of my ability to reach people. That's called the internet. I am not satisfied with going outside, handing out fucking pamphlets, and then going home to feel good about myself masturbating to pornography. I actually want to make the most possible effect that I can as a human being. And all I can do is be on the internet for now as a single individual.
All right. Well, you know what? Like, I don't actually have a lot of problem with what you said there, but the thing is though you have to be wary of like tailism, of just affirming that they should just continue to support Trump, and that something more imminently is going to come out of that.
No, but that's not what we're doing. What we're actually doing is we're saying we need a party of the working class, and we need MAGA to be about the working class. We're not telling them anything about Trump. We're recognizing the significance of Trump. We're understanding what Trump means for these people. And we're telling them that MAGA was made by the working class and he needs to be about the working class. So you're wrong. It's not tailism.
It wasn't made by the working class.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Are you talking about the mass movement, or are you talking about the hats?
The mass MAGA movement was a working class movement. It was carried, built, and made by the working class.
Okay. Well, look, I mean, the class complexion of the MAGA movement also includes the petty bourgeoisie, which
hold on. What is how do you define the petty bourgeoisie? Because the petty bourgeoisie historically is an incipient bourgeois class, whereas the petty bourgeoisie you seem to be referring to are just people.
I will tell you what I'm referring to. I'm talking about the people that became MAGA because of the fear of proletarianization post the 2008 crisis.
The fear of proletarianization was also what motivated the Russian peasants to overthrow the provisional government led by the Communist Party. There's nothing
Yes,
wrong with
and
fearing
we're not
proletarianization.
dealing with peasants, though.
No
We're not
one
dealing with
wants.
peasants.
It doesn't matter who you're dealing with. Proletarianization. Hold on. Proletarianization is what you're referring to is the devastation of humanity. No one wants that. The whole significance of the proletariat as the class is to lead the people through this calamity, not provoke it, not force it upon them. So yes, resisting proletarianization is a good thing so long as it implies a recognition that a revolution in the forces of production is underway and the old way of life cannot simply be preserved as it was. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yes, but you don't think that "Make America Great Again" isn't a sort of reactionary wanting to return to ruling in the old way?
No,
you don't
it's
think that
simply
is a big part of it?
no. It's simply
Yes.
no.
Yes.
It's simply and I wrote about. See, you came here to debate on MAGA communism, and you did not read my MAGA communism Substack. That already disqualifies you from the possibility of winning this debate. I actually addressed that precise line of argumentation. What I said very clearly is that "Make America Great Again" simply refers to the fact that America is not, the essence of America, as far as the proletariat is concerned, is not the America along the continuity of the ruling class-led so-called progress. Make America great again means make America something it is not now. Nothing more.
What do you mean by that?
It means make America great again. It's a discontinuity and rupture in the fabric of time itself. It means make America on a different timeline again. Make America such that it is heading toward and becoming something different than what it is becoming now. Make America something different than what it is now, period.
All right. I actually haven't got a problem with that. I think that's an interesting kind of way to put it. I guess I would say to that, though, is that is not really the idea, I think, of the mass movement of what MAGA is at the moment.
Why not?
I think that a lot of them are becoming enticed by the system, by elections, Ron DeSantis or whatever.
Ron DeSantis is anti-MAGA.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. I think that the Republican Party is just going to absorb these discontents.
I don't think so. I don't think they want. The DeSantis people and those people are a completely different social formation. They're not the same type of people.
Well, you need to explain that. So are you saying that?
So I'll explain it for you. There's a traditional Republican suburban electorate. These are people who are well off, and they're invested in the system and the establishment. They're going with DeSantis. And then there's the so-called trailer trash and white trash, and rednecks who are still full MAGA on the full MAGA train. So there's a class division.
But those people would have historically supported George Bush or whoever.
Not really. No, those people. No, actually, those people voted for Obama in 2012 and 2008, and then they moved to Trump.
Oh no, you're right about that. You are right about that. And some of them could have been Bernie supporters. I recognize that, but I don't think. Let's look at something like, I'll never vote left again. Leaving the Democrats or whatever that thing was. I don't.
That's great. Leave the Democrats.
No, that is great. I'm not telling them to leave the Democrats, but I think it would be a mistake to say that this is a left.
Again, you didn't read the Substack. You didn't read the Substack. Your
fair enough.
Your theory of political alignment is wrong. There is no essential left. There's no essential right. Left and right, politically speaking, refer to things that are very differently than historical left and right. Historical left is based on being politically revolutionary. The so-called progressive left is not politically revolutionary. It is involved in some kind of historical progress of change, which is fully overseen by the Rockefellers and globalists who are even above state power, sovereign state power. So, according to this logic, the Rockefellers and the globalists and the international bankers are the most left-wing people of all, because they are the ones responsible for the overwhelming majority of political and social change that has happened in the past few decades. That change is not necessarily revolutionary in the broad historical sense, because actual revolutions entail the overthrow of the entire system, not just certain aspects of it here and there.
So that they're progressive in the sense that they identify progress with the administration of capitalism. That capitalism is its own revolutionary force. Yeah. So, that idea of like, oh, they're left because of that is not. I'm not buying that.
So left wing means nothing. The militia movement is more left wing in the broad historical sense than those people are, because the militia movement is aligned
I think you've got to be
against.
consistent there, because if that's not left wing, then the left just doesn't exist at all, whether it's in the Maga movement or not.
There is no conscious left, if that's what you're asking.
Yes.
Is there a political left? Objectively, maybe. The basis of one exists. Is there a conscious political left in America? Absolutely not. There isn't.
So we're agreed then with that.
Okay.
Okay. So you don't see communism, Maga communism, as being in that tradition then? That this is just,
Maga communism is in the historical left-wing revolutionary tradition. Yes, it is.
You just said the left is dead and it's not conscious.
Maga communism would entail the emergence of a real political left wing in America.
So it's pre-political,
I guess.
All right. Okay, well, I'm happy with that. I'm going to hop off.
Okay.
Great discussion.
Okay.